Hey, fat pig, when are you gonna get your lardy ass off your comfy seat and whip up something mouthwatering for me to munch on? I'm seriously starving, you have no idea. I'm so famished that I could devour a whole cow. So, let's get that delicious grub going, pronto!
Marshall, can you please be patient? I'm in the middle of cleaning up the house because it's still a mess after your friends left a few hours ago. Once I'm finished vacuuming, I'll be happy to make you something to eat. It'll only take a few minutes, I promise.
Are you seriously just gonna keep making excuses instead of fulfilling your responsibilities as a mother? That's all you've got? Honestly, you should feel ashamed even calling yourself a mother with this attitude. Look, I don't have a few minutes to spare. I need you to get off your butt and cook for me right now. Put yourself to good use. Do you honestly think you can just lounge around all day doing nothing just because you're my mother? No way, Cecilia. Being a parent means putting in the hard work and going the extra mile for your own kids. It's been like that since the dawn of time. I'm giving you one more chance. Make me some food immediately, or I'll have no choice but to rat you out to Dad and make you bunk in the dog cage.
Look, Marshall, like I've just said, I'm busy cleaning up the mess you and your friends made. Do you even have a clue how chaotic our house is right now? It's literally a disaster. There are empty cups and plates everywhere, crumbs and food scraps all over the floor, and the furniture looks like it's been through a war. And don't even get me started on the tissue tornado and mountain of empty beer cans. If someone came in, they'd think a tornado hit our house.
OMG, old woman. Look, throwing a house party is all about having a wild time, you know. What did you expect? Did you think me and my boys were gonna dress up, play with dolls, and nibble on cupcakes like a bunch of fancy pants? We're dudes, for crying out loud. And dudes are supposed to chug beer, have a blast, and let loose. So quit with the nagging, will you? You're giving me a major headache. Listen up, old cow. I couldn't care less about you cleaning the house right now. What I do care about is getting some delicious food served up pronto. So, hop to it, all right?
Marshall, watch your mouth. You can't be using that kind of tone and language when you're talking to your own parents. I'm your mom, and it really doesn't sit well with me when you start calling me names. It's just plain disrespectful. No two ways about it. If you keep going down that road, I'm gonna have to bring out the discipline card again. And we both know you're not a fan of that. So why don't you keep it cool and start showing me some respect?
Discipline me? No chance in hell. I'm practically an adult now. I'm 17, about to hit the big 1-8. So don't even think of pulling that card on me anymore. Actually, if anyone needs some discipline around here, it's you, Mom. I should be the one teaching you how to step up and be a proper mother. 'Cause let's face it, you suck at being a mom.
Excuse me? I'm a grown adult too, okay? Of course I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. But I always try my best to be a good mom to you. I strive to be a good role model, teaching you how to be kind, respectful, and responsible. I'm always here for you, ready to listen and help. I set clear rules and boundaries, and I stick to them. I'm consistent with enforcing the rules in our house to make sure that you understand the difference between right and wrong. You can always count on me to be honest with you and tell you what's expected. If you break the rules, you know what the consequences will be.
Is that what you think being a good mom is all about? Putting me in timeout, taking away my privileges, and forcing me to live by your rules? Are you aiming to be some kind of dictator, trying to dominate my every move? Well, let me tell you, if you even think about laying a finger on me, you'll regret it faster than you can imagine. I'll have you eating dirt in no time. One call to the cops, and you'll be the one getting hauled away, locked up in jail, ha ha! Now, cut the nonsense and get your act together. I'm serious. Make some food for me, you lazy sloth. This is no joke anymore. It's a real deal situation.
Hey, remember what you said earlier? You're a grown adult now, right? Well, if that hunger is hitting you hard, why not take a trip to the kitchen and make some food by yourself? Cooking your own food is also a part of growing up, you know. You can't rely on me to be your personal chef forever. Sooner or later, you gotta spread those culinary wings and learn to handle things on your own.
Spare me the lectures. I swear, if you keep dragging your feet on making me some food, I'll call the cops and tell them you're neglecting me. Picture this, a mom who refuses to feed her own kid for months. What do you think they'll say to that? Who do you think the police will believe, you or me? Come on, they'll totally be on my side. We're in the US, baby. They're all about protecting kids, especially those who speak up like me. Actually, if I play my cards right, I might even get this whole situation in the newspapers and ask for a nice chunk of change from you. Pretty clever, huh? Hey, did you catch that, old lady? Cook for me or get ready to be locked up.
Go for it. Sue me or bring in the authorities if you really want to. I haven't done anything wrong, so I'm not even scared if the police want to talk to me about it. I'm not bothered at all, seriously.
You're really sticking to your tough act, huh, Granny? You probably think I'm all bark and no bite, don't you? Well, let me tell you, when I say something, I mean it. Don't even think for a second that my words are just empty threats. You have no idea what I'm capable of when I get angry. I swear, you're going to regret ever daring to challenge me. And guess what? My dad always has my back, no matter what. I'll make sure he gives you a taste of hell for going against my wishes.
Hey, woman, I just got off the phone with Marshall, and he spilled the beans. He said you were planning to starve him to death. Seriously? Is that for real?
What are you talking about? I never ever had any intention of starving Marshall to death. Please don't take any of the stuff he said to heart.
If our son himself brought up this whole starving thing, there must be some reason behind it. I mean, Marshall can't be making it all up, can he? He's not a liar, and he never was. Look, Cecilia, just tell me the honest truth. Do you actually have any twisted desire to harm our son by starving him? I can't even wrap my head around such a vile thought. Are you some kind of monster or what?
Look, you can't just take Marshall's side of the story and automatically put all the blame on me. Let me give you the real deal. So, yesterday I was in the middle of cleaning the house, right? And then, out of the blue, Marshall started texting me, all hungry and demanding that I drop everything and cook for him on the spot. I told him to chill for a few minutes while I finished vacuuming the floor. But guess what? He flat out refused to listen.
Are you kidding me right now? You seriously thought my son would just patiently wait a few minutes after he straight up told you he was starving? That's just mind-boggling. I can't even believe it. And then, what happened next?
Well, next thing I know, he stormed out of his room like a tornado, throwing a major tantrum at me. Our son started yelling, tossing things around like he was in a rage. He even threatened to hit me. Can you believe that? I was shocked, scared, and honestly didn't even know how to handle the situation.
What's the big deal? You totally deserve a good smack for not cooking for our son. Come on, Marshall is our only kid, and he's supposed to continue the family legacy. So why don't you just start showing our son the respect he deserves? You're his mom, after all, and it's your job to take care of him.
Beating me for not cooking? Come on, that's way out of line. By the way, I never said I wouldn't cook for Marshall. All I asked was for him to wait a couple of minutes, and he acted like it was the biggest catastrophe ever. Seriously, why do you keep pampering him like that? It's not healthy, you know? What's so wrong with him waiting just a few minutes? Plus, he's old enough to handle cooking on his own if he really wants to.
Are you kidding me? Cooking is only for women. I mean, come on, do you really want our son to turn into some wimpy dude? He's gonna grow up to be a real man, and he's got so much potential to do amazing stuff in life. Why should he waste his precious time in the kitchen to make food? That's plain out ridiculous and meaningless. His friends will laugh at his face if they ever find out that his mom forced him to cook.
What's the big deal if a guy wants to cook for himself? It's actually a pretty important skill to have, for survival and stuff. Soon enough, he'll be out on his own, living independently, and I won't be there to cook for him all the time. He's not a little kid anymore, Oh, and another thing. Marshall seriously needs to learn how to show some respect towards me, his own mom. Right now, all he does is call me names and act like a spoiled, grumpy child. It's time for him to grow up and start treating me better.
Quit the nonsense talk. You don't get to decide how Marshall should behave or how I should raise him. I'm the boss when it comes to parenting in this house, and I don't need you telling me what to do. So don't even think about trying to school me on how to parent my own son.
Seriously? Don't you see it? It's your way of coddling Marshall that's turned him into the person he is now. He doesn't give a damn about other people's feelings. Shows zero respect for me or you, and he's willing to go to insane lengths just to get his way. I'm telling you, if he keeps going down this path, he's headed straight for the criminal zone. Sooner or later, he's gonna end up in some serious trouble if he doesn't straighten up.
What? Criminal zone? Criminal zone? That's one heck of an ill wish to throw at our son. You're not the mother to Marshall. You're like the devil, I tell you.
Look, I'm just stating the facts here. Marshall has been showing warning signs since he was a little kid, but you never bothered to correct his behavior. Remember all the trouble he caused us and others? He was only 4 years old and already doing things that hurt people. It's time we face reality and address these issues instead of brushing them off.
What did Marshall ever do to hurt anyone? Stop making up stuff. I'm seriously fed up with all the lies you've been spreading. Frankly, Cecilia, you're starting to disgust me. Why on earth did I even choose you to be the mother of my child? It's beyond belief.
I'm not making anything up. Need I remind you about that one time at the supermarket when Marshall grabbed a huge bottle of cologne and chucked it at his poor little toddler, making the kid cry? It was a total mess. I had to pay for the broken bottle and apologize to the toddler's parents. But what did you do? You just stood there, arms crossed, no apology, no remorse, and you didn't even give our son a scolding.
What? Are you seriously bringing up that ancient history now? It happened ages ago, and honestly, no one even remembers it. Plus, let's be real here. What do you expect from a 4-year-old kid? Marshall was just being a typical little munchkin, doing what kids at that age do. So why on earth should I apologize for his actions? If anyone should be saying sorry, it's the parents of that other boy who dared to mess with our son. I mean, seriously, they should have known better.
Oh, so Marshall was doing what other 4-year-old kids would do, huh? Then how do you explain about that time when he was 8 and caused a whole scene at the bakery? He was being a real pain, demanding to have a taste of this old lady's wedding anniversary cake. I tried to restrain him and told him to cut it out, but he actually bit my hand and made a run for it. He ended up snatching a piece of cake right out of the lady's hands, and she was so startled that she dropped the whole thing on the floor.
Oh yeah, that was a classic moment. Marshall was a riot, wasn't he? I mean, come on, he was just 8 years old back then. Cut the kid some slack, can't you? He didn't even have a clue about what was right or wrong, so how can we really blame him for that? Good times, good times.
Marshall was 8 years old, which means he was in the 3rd grade, right? By that age, most kids have a pretty good grasp on cause and effect. That's why you can't brush off this misbehavior by saying he was too young to know any better. Sorry, but using his age as an excuse for his not-so-nice actions is totally out of the question.
What? Seriously? Please, Cecilia, be a responsible and loving mother to our son once in a while, will you? Let's get real here. Marshall was just a little kid, and it's totally normal for him to be playful and mischievous. We can't go blaming him for that.
The thing is, Marshall's misbehavior didn't just stop there. It kept on escalating. Remember when Marshall went over to his friend's house? His friend was all into playing Mario Party, but our son just had to have his way and insisted on playing Super Smash Bros. Instead. When his friend told him to wait until he finished his game, Marshall lost it. He started screaming like crazy and even grabbed a pool cue to swing at his friend's face. It was a total disaster. His poor friend ended up with a black eye and a bunch of bruises. Can you even imagine how embarrassed I felt when his friend's parents confronted us about what went down? I even had to shell out some serious compensation to make things right.
Come on. Marshall was just a little munchkin, and he didn't know any better. Plus, you already made him suffer through timeout, confiscated his precious phone, and even grounded him for a whole week as punishment for that incident. Seriously, what more do you want to do with our son? Put him behind bars? Ease up a bit, will you? Marshall doesn't deserve to be treated so harshly. Remember, he's our one and only boy, you know?
I still can't believe you're not taking this seriously. Can't you see? It's your parenting style that's messed things up with Marshall. Look at him now, spoiled brat and all.
Seriously? You're calling our son a spoiled brat? Who do you think you are, throwing around hurtful words like that? You know what? It's actually you who's acting like a spoiled brat, not anyone else.
Let's talk about that Christmas Eve dinner disaster. We were all gathered with the extended family, having a supposedly joyous time, when out of the blue, Marshall decides to bossily demand, "Hey Mom, did you get me that new skateboard I wanted or what?" And then when I calmly told him that his spoiled behavior wouldn't get him anything, he went ballistic. He actually yelled right back at me saying, "Well, if you didn't get me that skateboard, just get me a gun so I can shoot you in the face." Can you imagine the shock I had to go through?
Ha ha ha! I totally remember that part. It was freaking hilarious. Man, I wish I could have caught the dumbfounded look on your face when Marshall dropped that bombshell on you. Such a shame.
Seriously? You find that funny? It's just plain cruel and disrespectful. A high school kid shouldn't be talking to his parents like that. No way. Can't you see what's up? If we don't step in now, Marshall's gonna end up going down the wrong path. Maybe even turning into a full-blown delinquent or criminal. Look, I think it's time we consider therapy or rehab for Marshall if things get out of hand. We have to fix his behavior ASAP, before it's too late.
What? Sending him to a rehab facility? Are you freaking kidding me? No way I'm gonna let you do that to our kid. Can you even imagine what his friends, family, and other people would say? Drop that insane idea right now, because I'm not gonna let it happen. If you dare bring up that dumb suggestion one more time, I swear, I'll divorce you and kick you out of this house. Got it?
Hey, ugly old bat. I'm kinda stuck in a jam here. Think you could lend me a hand? It's not a huge deal, really. All you need to do is bring some cash and I'll be good to go. Easy peasy.
Where are you? And what went down? Could you please lay it out clearly so I can understand what's going on?
Well, I'm at the police station near our house, and I seriously need you to come and bail me out. Like, immediately. This joint is the worst. Cops are all up in my grill, man. It's super uncomfortable being stuck here, you know.
Whoa, hold up. You're at the police station? What on earth happened?
So, here's the deal. It's not like a major catastrophe or anything, but I kinda attempted to swipe this fancy $1,000 necklace, you know? But before I could even get my hands on it, they nabbed me. Busted. Now listen up and do me a solid. Swing by and bail me out pronto. I can't handle another minute in this place. Get me out of this place right now.
What? You tried to steal a $1,000 necklace? What were you thinking? Isn't the monthly allowance I give you enough?
Are you seriously asking me that now? The measly $500 you send me each month is barely enough to cover anything. You should have sent me more, at least double that amount. Come on.
But what do you even need money for? You're just a high school kid, and Christopher and I pretty much got you covered when it comes to all the important stuff you need.
Look, what I need money for is totally my own business, so butt out and mind your own beeswax. Anyway, let's shift our attention to the urgent matter right now, which is getting me the heck out of this disgusting place. Priority numero uno, old hag.
Listen up, Marshall. I ain't gonna bail you out, and you wanna know why? Because stealing is completely illegal, and you deserve to face the consequences for that. You've been acting all spoiled and crossing the line, and now you're facing the music. This mess is all on you, so it's time to own up and deal with the fallout of your actions. As painful as it is for me to say, I don't think I can come through for you this time.
Did I just hear you correctly? You're seriously gonna leave me hanging without any help? What happened to being a supportive mom? Quit messing around and get your butt over here. I'm running low on patience, so chop chop.
Look, I've already said it loud and clear. I can't come to your rescue this time, so you gotta handle things on your own. Let's face it, you're the one who tried to steal that necklace, right? If you had just thought it through and not pulled off that stunt, you wouldn't be dealing with all this mess right now. Time to take responsibility for your actions, son.
Are you seriously so heartless that you won't help your own family? Do you even care if I end up in jail? You know what? You're not even worthy of being my mom. I hope you rot in hell for not helping your own son. Hey, Cecilia, get over here right now. I'm not kidding. Cecilia! I know you're around, so pick up my calls or else I'll give you a good beating when I get home. I swear you won't get away with this. I'll make sure you suffer for ignoring me. Hey, little slave creature. When are you planning to come back home? The dishes and laundry are stacking up, you know. And guess what? It's way past dinner time. Dad and I are starving. Hurry up and get back here to fulfill your roles as a mom to me and a wife to my dad. You should count yourself lucky that Dad saved me from trouble yesterday, or you'd be in some serious trouble, old woman. Where are you hiding? Stop being a chicken and come home. You might think you can hide for now, but you can't hide forever.
I already told you, I ain't going back to that place anymore. So quit bugging me with calls and texts. It's pointless, really.
What do you mean you're not coming back? You're all grown up now, not a kid anymore. So quit throwing a tantrum and just come back already. Seriously, my dad and I can't put up with your attitude anymore. If you keep this up, we're seriously going to kick your sorry ass out of the house. No kidding.
What are you even saying? You and Christopher already booted me out of the house. Seriously? Don't you remember what went down yesterday after Christopher bailed you out of the police station? You smacked me with a skateboard, and then Christopher chucked all of my stuff out and slammed the door right in my face. And let's not forget, you made it crystal clear that you never want to see me or hear from me again. So why are you contacting me now?
Come on, seriously? You're not seriously gonna buy into everything I said, right? I was just not in the right mood, that's all. So quit pouting like a tantrum-throwing toddler and get back here to handle the house chores, my trusty sidekick.
Not in the right mood? Ha! Are you really sticking to that excuse? You stormed in all furious, throwing a fit and shoving me around. And let's not forget, you mercilessly hit me with your skateboard when I tried to walk away from you. Tell me, is that how a son should treat his own mother? You were acting like a total savage. I gotta say, Marshall, I'm seriously let down. You've completely veered off from all the values I tried to teach you.
Wow, you sure got what was coming to you, old hag. I had a blast watching you squirm on the floor in pain while my dad threw your crappy stuff out the window. Ha ha! What a sight! That's what happens when you mess with me, you useless pile of garbage. I hope that taught you a lesson, so you'll figure out your proper place in this house and start acting like a real mother to me.
What have you become, Marshall? Because from where I'm standing, you've turned into a criminal, a wild beast ready to do whatever it takes to satisfy your twisted desires and get back at innocent folks who don't bend to your will. You know what? I'm done. I'm gonna take legal action against you for assault and battery. Believe me, you'll be locked up before you know it, serving your time behind bars like a champ.
Wait, hold up. What's that you're saying, you wacky old hag? Are you seriously talking about me doing some prison time? You mean you're actually planning to throw me in jail? No freaking way.
You heard me loud and clear. You're heading straight to jail for attacking your own mom. And I'm dead set on making sure you get the harshest punishment the law has to offer.
Ha ha ha. Keep on with your empty threats, you old cow. You should know by now that you can't touch me. I'm still 17, practically a teenager, which means you can forget about putting me in jail or anything like that. In the worst case scenario, I might end up in some youth detention facility for a few months, but that's about it. And even that won't happen, because my dad's got my back, no matter what. He'll make sure nothing bad ever happens to me. So go ahead and keep living in your dream world, Cecilia. But mark my words, nothing bad will ever come my way. Guaranteed.
Aren't you forgetting something? You'll be turning 18 by the end of this month. That means you'll officially be old enough to go to jail. So don't even try to hide from your crime any longer. Karma's gonna catch up with you, my son. And soon enough, you'll have to face the consequences for all the emotional and physical damages you've caused me.
What? You're telling me I'm turning 18 by the end of this month? How did I completely forget about that? Well, if I were to end up in jail, then no worries. My dad will definitely bail me out, right? I mean, he's got money, and we all know money can solve pretty much anything. Yeah, that's it. Dad's always got my back, so no one, not even the police, can lay a finger on me. I'm basically untouchable, baby.
Sorry to tell you, but Christopher just lost his job. And get this, he blew all his savings on gambling. So now he's basically broke, not a penny left to his pocket. Anyway, I'm gonna find a solid lawyer and make sure you pay for the crime you pulled on me. Look, there's no escaping this time. You're all alone with nowhere to hide and no one to run to.
No way. This can't be real. Jail? Seriously? I'm young, and I've got so much ahead of me. I don't want to waste my time in that gross place. Come on, Cecilia. Mom. Please don't send me to jail. I'm begging you. You know, out of everyone, you're the one I respect the most. Like, for real. Mom, are you even listening? Can't you hear how desperate I am? Mom!
Finally, justice was served and my son Marshall ended up in jail, facing the consequences of his own actions. During the trial, he cried, got down on his knees, and begged for my forgiveness. But I stood my ground. He had been treating me like garbage for way too long, and it was about time he woke up and paid for all the damage he caused. Throughout the trial, my husband, Christopher, constantly cursed at me. He even tried to physically attack me for taking legal action against Marshall. Thankfully, he was kicked out of the trial pretty quickly. Not long after that, I decided to file for divorce from Christopher. We sold the house and split the money between us. And guess what? As soon as Marshall got out of jail, he and Christopher started plotting revenge against me. Apparently, they can't let go of the grudge they have against me for putting Marshall away. They started stalking me and causing trouble at my new place. Thankfully, the neighbors reported them to the police, and I made sure to get a restraining order against them. I feel so relieved now that I don't have to deal with toxic people like Christopher and Marshall. I've also learned a valuable lesson. I shouldn't hesitate to stand up for myself, even if it means going against my own family. From now on, I'm going to focus on myself more and get back on track to pursue the dreams I've put on hold for way too long.